Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chuckie. With me, as always, is my sometimes partner, sometimes nemesis, the boy.
Hey.
And we are here to do the Turnerds podcast. Turnerds. That's us. Turnerds!
I also just noticed that for some reason being referred to as someone's nemesis makes me inherently happier. My hay was much more chipper.
Before we get into everything, do what you do. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe, share. That's the super important part. I noticed that we have been getting some comments, so...
Super great. Thanks
yeah, I appreciate it. Also, check the link down there in the description. Head over to Super Blizzard's Bandcamp page. Buy some Shining Was Auto tracks. Let's Get Hardcore is our theme song. I think it's a pretty good theme song. And he gave it to us for free, because he's nice. The least you can do is buy some of his music.
Yeah, super great music, too. I really like Diva, just to put that out there. I really love that song.
I've been listening to his album in the car, because I deleted most of the shit off my phone. So, like, all the Kanye and the,
really?
Mega Ran. And...
You deleted that Kanye?
Well, I was, like, gonna reorganize some stuff. So, like, right now, all that's on there is the Starbomb album, a bunch of Plentykill, and, the Megas. And Shining Was On. So I've been listening to a lot of his stuff the last couple of days.
That's still, you know what? I haven't deleted anything off my phone, but I find that's a lot of what's on my phone too.
Yeah. Usually I had Mega Ran on there a lot of his non-Mega random stuff. Tons of Instalock.
I have a couple Instalock songs. I find that all the songs they parody, like 9 times out of 10, I like their version better. So when I hear the regular song, I just am going through anytime I hear Radioactive, I just hear Use It My Active, or whatever the name of that song was. That's all I can hear.
I think they're really talented guys. You search them all on YouTube. All these people we're talking about, go find them.
Seriously, they're all on YouTube.
They're all amazing.
It's where I discovered all of them.
I didn't. I told you about a lot of them.
Yeah. I discovered them through you.
Don't take away my credit. I'm so amazing.
You are so amazing.
And
Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, thank you. You say I'm amazing like the Kanye song Amazing.
No.
Okay, I'm not that amazing.
No, you're not.
But, yeah, this conversation might seem a little meandering, like our foray into 4chan versus Tumblr.
That one was right out of left field. We had a topic last week.
We did. Well, we have a topic this week. It actually kind of, is important. We're talking about a lot of parody artists, a lot of artists who take inspiration from certain works of media. And this week we're sort of generally talking about fandoms. The inspiration for which is twofold. First of which, as I was just telling you about, is the whole debacle with DashCon.
Oh, I didn't know anything about this. I don't follow the news. I guess this qualifies as the news now?
It's internet news.
And I had no idea any of this shit occurred at all. And then he told me about it, and I'm gonna be honest, he read an article about it that just would not fucking end. Like, it was the longest, most boring thing.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, in all the shit that happened, I don't really have any, I wasn't there, I can't talk about it, I don't know these people. But, I'm sure if you have a Tumblr, you know what happened.
I'm, super amused. I'm not even gonna front. I think this is schadenfreude for me. Someone else's suffering brings me joy.
But one of the big things in it, in all of the stuff I was reading that amused me, were people talking about how everyone set their fandoms aside and, hung out and had camaraderie despite what they liked.
Yeah, okay. What?
When did being a fan of something become, okay, it's tribalism, but when did we tribalize fandom?
Well, if you think about it, a long time ago, it's just that the tribalism has finally made its way into nerd culture. Think about how violent sports fans get.
You know what, that's true. It is a lot like that.
And think about how violent, even movie snobs for a long time. Go to someone who thinks Citizen Kane is the greatest movie ever made, and tell them that you think the greatest movie ever made is the Pauly Shore classic Biodome. Watch what happens. because I guarantee you're gonna get a show.
Encino Man was better.
Encino Man was better.
Yeah, I don't know why people are always going on about Biodome.
Because it was worse, and that's the joke.
I suppose. Whatever. I mean, like, at least, I think if you go at them with Biodome, they're going to know you're trolling. If you gotta go at them with something that's like got some merit, like Encino Man. So that they're like, no, I could totally see why someone would think that's their favorite movie, but why would someone think that's the best movie ever?
It'll blow their little minds. It'll be great. But
I've never been so up in arms. I mean, like, every now and then I get carried on the sea of mob mentality, but
it's proliferation. You brought it up, you didn't bring it up like this earlier, and this is sort of let me think about it a little bit differently. It's proliferation. Alright. So previously, like back in the day, before the internet exploded, back when, we nerds were, shall we say, not the next big thing. You might like Star Wars. Your friend might like Star Trek. That was a thing.
Yeah. Like Nintendo and Sega.
Yeah, or Nintendo and Sega. But in the end, at the end of the day, you both knew that when it came to you guys versus everybody else, you had an ally.
Oh, so what you're saying is because nerd culture has propagated so much...
It is the everybody else.
Yeah!
Thus, it allows elbow room for people to really put on their fucking war paint for their specific nerd subgenre.
Well, I like that. I think that's got a lot of credence, a lot of verity.
And it's a repeating theme in a lot of culture. We pick a side, we pick a thing that we like, and then that becomes us. We sublimate the stuff that we enjoy into our beings.
Now, I'll do that on the defensive.
Viewer, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna use a lot of really intellectual sounding crap. Feel free to make fun of me for it.
Might I suggest Four Eyes, he needs glasses to see.
That one's really good. Yeah. I do need glasses to see.
If you knock him off his face, he's like Velma from the 60s cartoon. It's hilarious.
No, it's not. It's not. Every time you've done it, it's been hurtful. But think about like you and I, the stuff that we have real fandom for. Whether we're a fan of the current product or not, whether we like the new generation or the old generation, we both love pro wrestling.
Okay.
And to a large extent, we've sublimated that into who we are as people.
And this is what I was about to say is, I don't get real tribal about stuff like that. I don't get really attack the other guy who likes a thing different from me. I'm kind of a live and let live kind of guy. But as far as, we're making stupid hand motions at each other. I'm sorry, listener. If you were a viewer, you would see it, but you're not. As far as defending myself as a wrestling fan, because what's the first thing you hear when you're talking to a non-wrestling fan, depending on the level of asshole, is either it's fake, right? Or why do you like that shit? It's fake, or various degrees of harshness therein.
Yeah, someone who's kind of nice and doesn't really want to rain on your parade too hard, but has to make sure you're not a retard.
Yeah.
Will go, it's fake, right? And that question mark of you're not too stupid for me to be talking to, correct? And then there's the asshole who goes, why do you like that shit? It's all fake anyway. Fuck you, first off, guy.
Well, you're getting... I apologize for the cars. You can definitely hear traveling outside. It is hot.
And we had to turn off the air conditioner for you listeners, so you're going to have to deal with cars.
Yeah, it's like 4 a.m, though, so it's not going to be a big deal.
Unless our loud neighbor comes by with
unless it becomes gangsta bumping time. Then I shall gangsta bump.
Yeah, you won't be able to see it, but I will see it, and I will laugh, and you will hear my laughter. And from there you will know gangsta bumping is occurring. What were you going to say?
Yeah, what I was going to say is, that's a person who is either A, being an asshole to intentionally rain on your parade, or B, doesn't understand why you like wrestling and doesn't know... Also, Train is here.
God. It was so quiet.
We opened the windows and set up to record, and the outside was like, alright, time to make some fucking noise.
Everything is great for Train.
Shut up, Train, we're talking about Batman!
Get out of here, Train!
or they don't know how to ask why you like wrestling in the face of it being fake, without being an asshole about it.
Because they're an asshole, so they ask everything in an asshole.
Or they might not necessarily be equipped to. I mean, as both of us recently discovered, sometimes when confronted with a situation that I am not prepared for, and being forced to talk out loud about it, I sound like kind of a prick when I'm trying to ask legitimate questions.
He does. I can attest. Anyway,
It can be difficult to phrase things properly, especially if you're caught off guard. Like, if you spent your life making fun of wrestling because it's fake, and someone comes up to you who you respect, and you're like, you like wrestling? It's fake!
I've seen this exact same thing occur. One of my bosses, where I work, does not like wrestling. Doesn't understand why I do.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Finds it ridiculous, in the extreme. And he respects me, because I do a good job at my job, and I am moderately well-spoken. And maybe some other reasons, I'm not really sure, I don't know the guy's brain.
Your head's so shiny, it just
my head
attracts
is
him.
really shiny. But when I told him I like wrestling, he gave me this look. This very specific look that says, "Oh, really?"
But you're supposed to be smart.
I treasure that look.
Yeah.
But think about the initial reaction, though. When someone is that asshole, your initial reaction isn't the very...
It is fuck you.
It is, hey, fuck you, guy.
Which is, I mean, it's part of the reason that I approach my interest in My Little Pony equipped with an apology. Or a clarification.
I like My Little Pony. No, not that kind of like My Little Pony. I just like the show.
Yeah, I just think it's a good show, and I like a lot of the culture around it. Not...
I've seen the show. He's right. It's a good show.
Yeah.
I couldn't call myself a fan of it, but it's a good show.
Like me and Avatar.
Yeah.
It's alright.
I can call myself a fan of that. But, sort of a medium fan. I wouldn't say it's in my fandom. It's not one of those things that I cleave to.
And I think there is a marked difference. I think there's a difference between being a fan of something. I'm a fan of Star Trek. But I wouldn't say Star Trek is my fandom.
Oh, God, no. Me neither. I like Star Trek, mostly Next Generation. Original series, occasionally.
Original series broke a lot of ground, but we weren't around when it was new. So a lot of the ground it broke was already old news to us by the time we would have been old enough to watch it. And caught it.
Seinfeld is unfunny. That's what it's called.
Yeah, Seinfeld is unfunny. It's just a trope. I like Seinfeld.
Yeah, I go to TV Tropes, look up Seinfeld is unfunny.
Enjoy losing 4 hours of your life.
I also like Seinfeld, but it's the name of a concept.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's a very marked difference between a thing you like and a thing you're a fan of.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of something like that. This is hard. Because the stuff I like is so very narrow that I can't think of something I like that I wouldn't also consider myself a fan of.
Well, really, it's more the distinction between being a fan of it and being in the blank fandom.
I like that. I like the Dresden Files. The books, not the show. Didn't like the show. Nothing against the show, I just didn't like the changes.
It just wasn't creative enough of a concept to stand up to the books, I think.
Yeah.
And nor to stand up to TV in general. I mean, we'd had Buffy and Angel by then.
It didn't meet mustard, but
No.
I love the books. I do. They're great books. I would not consider myself part of the Dresden Files fandom. I have, I don't really get involved in the forums. He has forums on his website for them. I have an account. I looked at them. I don't really get into that. It's not really my thing. I can't really read Dresden Files fan fiction, but by contrast, I would consider myself part of the Harry Potter fandom. Because I love those books. Those books...
See, that's kind of the funny thing. I don't know if I'd consider myself part of the Harry Potter fandom. And I really like those books and a lot of the culture surrounding it. And I'd say there's got to be a dividing line there. Because while I would not, unless pressed, consider myself to be a brony, I would still say I'm in the My Little Pony fandom. However, right there on that line, I like it about as much is Harry Potter, and yet I wouldn't necessarily consider myself in the Harry Potter fandom. I have a wand. I got sorted on Pottermore. I've been to Harry Potter World, but I don't quite like it enough.
It's a very thin line.
They're like looking at each other over the line. Like they could fucking shake hand and hoof, okay?
But, I also have a wand, been to Harry Potter World, got sorted, was one of the first people in line at Pottermore. That's me. And I have read an absurd amount of Harry Potter fan fiction.
Professor Janitor's chock full of baked beans.
No, none of that. Hey,
that's my favorite pairing.
Yes, you just heard right. If you've listened to the previous podcast, you know Professor Janitor is...
If you don't, go back and listen to the podcast, the Game of Thrones one.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll put an annotation. You can click, you can stop listening to this podcast and go listen to the other one, and come back, knowing who Professor Janitor is, and start listening to this podcast again. What a great idea!
He likes annotations a lot.
No, I'm just trying to sell shit, man. What are you talking about? You counts. Yeah.
But I would definitely consider myself in the Harry Potter fandom because it informed a lot of who I am as a person when I was a small child. Because if you remember, those books came out when I was the same age as the characters. And
don't put that on Ultimo Dragon. He doesn't remember what your age is.
Well, he remembers when the books come out.
Well, that's true. That's true. I suppose he's capable of math.
Yeah.
Being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
I'm sure he's very good at math.
Yeah.
But and to a large extent, up until that big gap that happened, I read those books when I was the same age as the characters. It informed a lot of who I am. Not in like a really, really profound way, but I liked those book series, and I could define myself by liking those book series when I was young and didn't really have much of a thing to define myself by anyway. I mean, when you're 12, how much of a personality do you really have?
I have a pretty strong personality when I was 12.
I didn't.
It's kind of an asshole.
I was an asshole when I was younger than that. I was a terrible child.
You're still an asshole.
But I'm a fun asshole now.
Well, that's true. Children are only so fun. That's not your fault.
Fair enough.
And it's kind of weird because the stuff that I really define myself by as fandoms that aren't dead.
Oh. We'll get there.
Yeah, we will. Trust me, I'm watching the timestamp on the podcast. I want to make sure we have time for two things. But the stuff that I really currently define myself as in fandoms, it's stuff that I've really gotten into in recent years. It's not really so much stuff that shaped my childhood.
Yeah, because most of the fandoms that shaped your childhood are kind of gone.
Yeah. Thanks for pooping on my head a little.
Hey, no problem.
But, I was reading stuff back then. I read the Boxcar Children, and I really loved the Wrinkle in Time book. The first one. I think she made a sequel at some point. I read Goosebumps.
I've never read a single...
I had fucking all of those books. Well, not all.
I've never read a single Goosebumps. Or Fear Street, or whatever.
You know what they are? They're supernatural without the unnecessary overarching plot about two douchebag brothers.
I like douchebrag.
Douchebrag.
Hashtag douchebrag.
It's like humble brag, but being honest about yourself.
So, yeah. It's hashtag douchebrag. Man, guys, I have so much spray tan, you don't even know. Hashtag douchebrag.
Man, guys, my collar is popped so high it's brushing the tops of my ears. Hashtag douchebrag.
Man, you guys, I'm wearing 6 shirts right now. They all have collars, and yeah, they're all popped.
Wait, you know what? Can
I
I divert this for just a second? I was in the bathroom getting ready the other day. I say the bathroom because that's where a mirror is, and that's important to the context of the story. And the collar on my shirt is stiff enough that it will stay up if I put it up. Now, I understand that... bear with me. I understand that it has become the mark of the douche bro to have the popped collar. But I don't think that's fair. Because, you know who else has awesome popped collars? Sorcerers. Fucking sci-fi villains?
To be fair, Stephen Strange does have, like, the poppedest collar.
He looks awesome. And, like, collar popped up, you got a little something going on there. Collar down is just a shirt.
You know who else has a pop collar? Specifically goes out of his way to pop his collar so that he looks cooler? Sherlock.
Sherlock.
From the BBC series. He will turn up his collar when he does something really cool so that he looks cooler. They've lampshaded it in the series.
Well, noir detectives in general. Think of the fucking Dick Tracy silhouette.
You know what? No, I think a high collar coat is fine.
Oh,
a collar on a cape is fine because then you're a sorcerer.
And that's the thing. It's not a coat. It's not a cape. It's a polo.
It's a polo pop collar polo shirt. That.
Well, can't you be just like a sidewalk sorcerer? Like
no.
Okay.
Sidewalk sorcerer.
I.
No, you know what? If I ever become a street magician, gotta call myself a sidewalk sorcerer.
That's you gotta have an awesome name like Zando, though. With an X, of course.
Zendaro, the sidewalk sorcerer.
And you have to say, like, fucking absolute gibberish that means, like, I hope you have a nice day in, like, Hindu. Sempism Sempossum! Flowers fall out of an open window 3 stars above.
Tell me, have we ever met before? No? No? Well then, Vlas Doniska! And then I, like, float a little. Not a lot, just like that little 2 inches or so. But I'm doing jazz hands. That's what makes me, the sidewalk sorcerer, different from your average street magician.
Oh.
Do those little coin tricks they do, but instead of doing them, like, quietly and off to the side to be impressive, I make a big production of them. Behold the coin!
Like,
Vas nadadishte! It's gone! Gone!
Like Chris Angel meets Dr. Orpheus?
Yes! Yes!
like how he was when he pulled that lady apart and he was just like, oh, her legs are running away, someone catch him. Instead you'd be like, it walks!
Behold my eldritch might!
I'm a big fan of the I love you fingers.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I like that when you're doing sorcery. Maybe that's my Sailor Moon fandom peeking out, but hey, wow, I segued us really good back into the topic. How about that? I didn't mean to do that. That's tight shit. I don't even remember where the fuck we were talking about. So let's
your
just
dead
move on.
fandoms.
Oh yeah, let's move on into my dead fandoms. Man, motherfuck. So 2 years ago, as I will go into detail in another video that you'll actually see my fucking face in, or was it just a year ago? No, a year and a half. I realized that I didn't like anything anymore. There were a couple things I was into, but it was stuff that, like, was really hard to be a fan of, or,
Magic tricks. I'm doing magic tricks.
You don't have any stuff. You gotta die. You trying to eat it?
I made it disappear.
In your hand?
Shut up. I'm not good at them. I gotta get good. That's what I'm doing. I'm practicing.
I'm sorry. Ultimo, if you could find it within yourself to forgive me. Oh man, shit, I didn't turn my phone down. Oh man.
Yeah, you give me shit for practicing my magics for when I'm a sidewalk sorcerer. And
you know, we're even. That's Bush League. I'm sorry, listener.
My phone's upstairs. It's so off.
Phone's always upstairs. Try to text this motherfucker and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I didn't get it. My phone's on Mars, man. I have it set an alarm only and I buried it in the backyard.
I did that the one time.
Anyhow. Yeah, and the problem was all the things I used to like were gone. The 2 things I was into at the time were League of Legends and My Little Pony. But it was hard for me to be a fan of My Little Pony publicly. Not because of any weird coming out of the closet shit you usually hear on the 4chans and the Tumblrs.
Most of the Tumblrs.
But mostly because I didn't want to be associated with those people, and I didn't feel like having that conversation with everybody. You know, yeah, I like this show, but no, I'm not like these guys. And that makes it a lot less fun if you have to sit there and explain yourself.
Puts a damper on it.
Yeah, and I already did
it's sort of the same instinct that caused your first response to, why do you like that shit? It's fake. To be, hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, why do you like fuck horses or children or both?
Because then,
you know what? I don't have time to talk to you because fuck you.
Because then, if you want to continue with this, in any sort of social situation with this person, you gotta have the fucking conversation, and the conversation is very rarely any fun. And I mean, it's a reasonable thing not to like.
Yeah, it's tiresome, but I didn't have enough in myself. I didn't have enough self-confidence at the time, enough security, to deal with that at the time. I've gotten over it since then. Whatever. I might not have finished the last season yet, but I still check Equestria daily.
Well, good. That'd be like it's just sort of what you're supposed to do.
I check Equestria daily, weekly. I live on the edge.
Fight the power.
In League of Legends, it's a great thing, but weirdly, as popular as it is, there's not much non-free roleplay fanfic about it. And there's not a lot of people who really want to, just chit-chat about it in a non-competitive sense. And so much of the fandom is made of hate.
They do have a lot of hate. That is I gotta tell you, the Red Lanterns must recruit a lot from the LoL community. But,
So yeah, I went a-searching for a fandom. Because the ones I was into before, the Final Fantasies that don't suck, and...
Read as all of them up until... When did he leave? What was the last one he was on? 8?
The last one he is actively involved with was 7, and he wasn't really around. He was a producer. We're talking about Hironobu Sakaguchi.
Sorry, I kind of figured they would know.
Yeah. He was, ousted is probably a better word for it. Around 7, he was only partially there. He had some writing credits, he had some directing, but it wasn't his baby like the rest of them are.
Well, you know what? Timeline is not super important. All the ones that involved Sakaguchi in a major way, good.
Yeah.
All the ones that didn't, not so good.
I mean, 7 was okay, and 8 has merits. And I straight up like 12.
I'll give you 12, but...
Look, okay, 8 had an interesting story. Not the love story. What was the dance?
The song with the fight scene.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. I got what you're saying now. Oh. But it had an interesting story, it had interesting characters, it had a couple of interesting twists that were played shitty. But there was potential there. I don't feel they lived up on. I really liked Laguna as a character. I really liked Irvine and Cypher and Fujin and that was about it. But it had its merits and it looked pretty. And the music was pretty good.
All right, I'll give you that last one. The music was good. But I keep diverting you.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where we're not talking about, 1998 when this shit was still in its heyday, when we were living it up. We're talking about 2013 at this point, and good Final Fantasy has been gone for a while now.
Long time.
It died on the vine, and we're left with what it is now.
Final Fantasy 13-7, Lightning Goes to the Beach.
Mega Man is also one of my, tried and true, dyed in the wool. I mean, I was just talking about a bunch of bands I like and how many of them do Mega Man covers.
Yeah, full disclosure, I love the Megas. I like Mega Man. I like the Proto Men. I like Megatainment. I don't like Mega Man games.
Yeah, this is age-old rivalry right here.
I don't like them. I don't like them much at all. In fact, I think I don't... Look, actually, you know what? No, I recognize they're very good games. I just don't like them. They aren't fun.
I think we've gotten to the root of this, and I believe it's the fact that you didn't grow up with Mega Man-style games.
No, I grew up with Mario and Contra.
Yeah, which are side-scrollers, and they're similar in a way, but their difficulty curve and how they present information to you is very different. Mario and Contra are much more harsh. in their own individual ways. Whereas Mega Man has some harsh parts to it, but they give you more room to fuck up.
And somehow, in so doing, make the game more frustrating for me.
Well, for you, because you're used to fucking up, meaning you lose.
Fine, let's move on. Let's go again.
So yeah, so you're processing that frustration, the frustration of losing without actually having lost. In fact, you're probably going to have that same frustration 8 more times before you actually lose a life, and then you have at least 3 of those.
Yeah, you know what? That's just a real good formula to piss me off.
Yeah, but digressing again, those were my major fandoms. Growing up, Final Fantasy VI especially. It's my favorite game of all time, hands down. Second favorite game, Mass Effect 3. What? Right? Okay.
I was drinking, asshole.
There's something else that I can't really say I'm part of the fandom of, which is weird.
You know what? I love those games. I love Mass Effect so much when the first Mass Effect came out, and I got it from GameFly, because it looked a little iffy, and I didn't know if I wanted to play it or not. I got it from GameFly. Forgot to eat.
Yeah, I remember that.
For days.
Yeah. That legitimately.
Days at all. I forgot to eat.
You know what I realized today?
And I wouldn't say I'm part of the Mass Effect fandom.
You know what I realized today? I think a lot of people who say literally and use it wrong mean legitimately. I think that's the word they're searching for and missing.
Because it's so cool.
Yeah, and they usually mean legitimately.
Like, I am legitimately disgusted by this,
or I am legitimately, whatever. But, not the violent, obvious, I am legitimately losing my hair over this situation. No, that's the same kind of wrong.
The same exact kind of wrong.
But those border cases...
The kind of firmness that literally lends a sentence. They want legitimately there, because it's a little bit less of a term. They basically have the same definition, but they don't mean exactly the same thing. It leaves you a little bit more. Yeah,
well, and herein the difference lies is, whereas you can say, I am legitimately burning up with rage.
Yeah, because legitimately allows you to use a figurative from there.
Yeah, use the figurative. But if you are literally burning up with rage, then you've gone too far. You are on fire.
Your rage has exceeded to the point where you are now
combusted. Yes. Okay, so that aside. Aside. Yeah, Mass Effect, same thing. And I think the reason for that is Mass Effect is so personal.
Yeah, the reason, and that's why the Mass Effect fandom in general kind of falls flat for me, because the game is so incredibly individual. No 2 Mass Effect playthroughs are ever going to be exactly the same unless you set out to make the exact same playthrough.
Yeah, even me, who cursed by my whim to not keep the data on the genophage, or whatever the hell it was. That asshole's experiments from Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, it's the genophage.
Every other time I played that game, I was like, no, we need that. That's smart. My last playthrough, the one I saved and moved to 3, why not? Let's make a different choice. What the hell?
I came back to bite you right in the ass.
Kicked myself a lot over that one. But, and that's why I think you can't. There's not really a fandom to be around. There's memes.
There's memes, and I like the memes.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the songs.
But I could never read fan fiction about it. I use that as kind of a watermark. Like, if you like something enough to go look at fan fiction for it, I think you count in the fandom.
At that point, you've crossed over.
And I think that's where that line is sitting in Harry Potter, okay? I don't care about Harry Potter fan fiction.
Whereas I do. I've read books long books. I've read Harry Potter fan fictions that are longer than any of the novels.
I've read a lot of My Little Pony fan fiction.
But that's a good high watermark. That's can you commit to this, let's be honest, incredibly lame action for the purposes of getting more in this universe that you love. Can you be this lame for this thing you like? Yes, I can, is the response that means you're in the fandom.
And I like Mega Man fanfiction, I like Final Fantasy VI fanfiction, I like My Little Pony, and what is a Nuzlocke but Pokemon fanfiction.
Right.
This was the fandom I eventually realized that I had been neglecting, was Pokemon. When I got into doing Nuzlocks and stuff, that kind of brought me out of my depression that I was in, and, I kind of, ironically, Because I mean, what's more depressing than a fucking Nuzlocke?
Nuzlocke's are the most depressing fucking thing. I still don't get how he likes them. They just, like, I've played Pokemon now. I know what a Pokemon is. I know what that game feels like, and fuck you, am I gonna... No, that's really kind of heart-wrenchingly sad. I know that makes me kind of a nonce, but fuck you, it's sad.
Well, I mean, no, it is. I mean, you... Especially under the construct of a Nuzlocke, you love these little guys. You need them, okay? And once you associate that need, this is why you have to name them, and name them a real name and not a name like Butslol.
What if it's a Diglett? Or a Diglett? Can I name it Butslol then because they suck?
No, you gotta give it a decent name.
But I hate
You can name
Diglett.
it Butters. What's wrong with Diglett?
I hate the little fucker. I do. He's such a... Like, the Diglett cave in green?
Oh, fair enough.
Fucking... That earned Diglett my eternal enmity.
You don't hate Diglett, you hate Arena Trap. And I can't argue with that.
I hate Arena Trap.
Yeah, Arena Trap is the fucking bullshittiest bullshit that ever shat out of bulls.
No, I think that's probably actual literal bullshit, but...
It is legitimately bullshit.
There we go.
What a Nuzlocke does is for those of us who have played enough Pokemon to be jaded to it.
Lets you reconnect.
Lets you reconnect. You have to give them a good name, something that you can call out with respect. And, you know, they're going to be a part of the limited selection of Pokemon you have. And instead of just like doing a bunch of exploits or whatever to grind up, you have to take care to grind up these individual Pokemon. You can't just go grab another high level one from the same area and move on with your life if you lose this one. Or take it to a Pokemon Center for that matter. It is the main three tenets that make a Nuzlocke so perfect in terms of being a great
I think
groundwork
that's
for a
why I
challenge.
don't like them, because I'm not old
You're
enough
still
to...
new. No,
I'm not jaded.
Yeah.
It's, why would I need additional reasons to care about these little digital sprites? I already care about them as much as I'm comfortable with, okay? But, see, I don't have your problem. All of my fandoms...
Are alive and well.
The Harry Potter one's honestly kind of dying off. It's starting to... You're seeing the drop happen.
Yeah. It had a good run after the books came out,
Yeah,
though.
but, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's gonna die off. It's gonna happen. And that's unfortunate, but true. It's not gonna go away. It's a little too big to go away for the next 10 or 20 years.
Any fandom, I mean, unless they're really small to begin with, never really goes away. I started reading a Final Fantasy VI fanfiction about a month ago, and I thought I was about ready to finish it. I only had one chapter left, just because of the way the story was winding down, and I realized that it wasn't there, because the author was still writing it, and had been writing it recently. Like, what? The fucking Final Fantasy VI fanfiction that's ongoing in the year of our Lord Cthulhu 2014?
It's not going to go away, obviously, but it is going to die off, and that's unfortunate. But I have so many things that I am a fan of. And my biggest one, this is why I'm bringing it up once we're on the tail end of the podcast, because I could easily fill several podcasts about this. I've always, since I first saw a movie, I believe I first saw it on VHS. I'm almost certain because I wore that VHS tape out as a child, was Batman.
You were always Batman?
I was always Batman. My biggest fandom has always been Batman. It's never changed. It's always been Batman.
Look, I have a hard time naming a number one favorite of a lot of things, but for most of my life, Batman and Spider-Man kind of both occupied my number one spot as far as superheroes. The boy is such a big fan of Batman that when I met him, I was forced to concede Batman to him.
I'm the Batman fan in this household.
I don't deserve to be in his shadow. And I've lost Spider-Man in the time since, so I just sit around twiddling my thumbs.
He likes Aquaman now. I've made that choice out of the blue just now for him.
Like, you could have picked so many other fucking people and I would have been like, hey, he's okay.
That's why I picked Aquaman. But I like almost everything Batman I've ever actually absorbed. I actually love the 66 television show. I find it delightful.
It was fun.
It's fun. I love the comics. I love the movies, except for one notable fucking exception. I love the Batman animated series. I love Batman Beyond. I like pretty much everything I've ever touched as far as this fandom goes. I love the characters. All of them, actually, with one exception. Again, different exception this time. It's a modern day myth, and it's so simple at its core. And I feel like we should be talking about fandom.
Yeah.
And I desperately, like, all my brain wants to dial in and just talk about how really, really cool Batman is. If that tells you anything. Now, to be fair, I can't find any Batman fanfiction that's good. So I don't read it. Because I can't find any that's good.
I tried to find some about Spoiler that was good.
Nope.
She's just too close to Batman, and that's like a null zone.
It's hard.
No,
Batman
wrong,
stories are hard.
false. I stand corrected, because there was exactly one fucking Batman fanfiction I read that I thought was good, written by Jamie fucking Madrox. Of Twisted fame, excuse me. Not Multiple Man.
I bet you he would write Batman fanfiction.
Well, if you've got that many of you, why wouldn't you? But, it was on his website, and it was kind of amateurish, like, for a celebrity to be doing, but Batman and Joker had to team up. And beyond the excess swearing, because he is Jamie Madrox of Twisted fame, it was a really good story, and I never finished it, and then he took it off his website.
I found also exactly one Batman fanfiction that was good, and that's because... No, I found like 3, and they've all had the same thing in common. And I think this is important. None of them are specifically about Batman. They are DC or other crossover, what have you, universe fanfictions that incorporate Batman as a major character. Because I feel like, unless you're in like a visual medium, he's such a visual character. In an actual pure written medium, you need something to contrast Batman. That's the problem. And also, nobody writes the Joker correctly. Fucking nobody.
It only got worse since The Dark Knight.
Yeah, it was existed before The Dark Knight, but yeah, since then, they all just write Heath Ledger, and they don't do it right.
No, yeah, they don't even write Heath Ledger. They write, what if Heath Ledger's Joker were tortured Bishi?
Which he's not. Fan rage boiling.
Soak it up. Tastes good, doesn't it? Let's violently veer off of Batman. I originally wanted to open the podcast with this, but didn't happen that way. I was sitting in my car earlier today, looking at some Waluigi memes on the internet, and I found myself a little upset. Because I did play Mario Tennis, but I didn't own it. I rented it once. But the next game I saw Waluigi in, which I believe was a Mario Party game, I really liked him. And for years, I have had to endure, why is Waluigi even here? He's not even a real Mario character. What the fuck is the point? Fuck Waluigi. Fuck you, I like Waluigi. Look at all them legs. He says, wah! If you look into the details about Mario Party 4, 7? One of them where you collect...
They're all the exact same game.
Not actually, but anyway. There's one where you collect different pieces for people's rooms, and like you can read about the little whatevers you collect, and it'll tell you more about the character. Waluigi is lazy. The most characterization he's ever gotten beyond possibly evil is lazy. And I love it. I love it in so many ways.
Because that's why you never see him in proper Mario games. You see Wario, because he's just sitting around.
Yeah. Smash Brothers had Mario, Luigi, Wario. What's Waluigi? Assist trophy.
Because he's way too lazy to do a whole fight.
He just wanted to show up and play some tennis, man. He got roped into this shit. I love playing him in Mario Kart. I love Waluigi. I have for years, and now everybody loves Waluigi.
And there's a part of your hipster soul that hates that, isn't there?
And it's not because he's popular now. It's because good for Waluigi. And good that people are recognizing how cool this character is. He's so different to the Mario universe in terms of what a character is. He has an air of mystery to him, and nobody else in Mario has mystery to him. You might not know much about him, but that's because there's not much to them. But you don't even know what you know about Princess Daisy, about Waluigi.
You're right. I do actually know more about Daisy than I do Waluigi.
And everybody loves him now, and I'm happy for that. But like, also there is that part of me, like you said, that's like, but I liked him before it was cool to like him. Damn you guys. And I don't like that because as much as I have done both it and its opposite to greater extent in the past, I do not understand why people like things just because they are popular. I also do not understand why people automatically dislike things because they are popular. I've done it before, I've fallen victim to it. We all have our weak points. I think part of the process to overcoming them is to first admit them. I've been that guy.
So have I. Not the liking things because they're popular. I don't do that. I have liked a couple things specifically in spite of how they're popular and who they're popular with.
Well, mostly what I've done is dislike things that are popular. I was a goth kid in high school. Still am at my heart. But much more expressively in high school.
Life is pain. Sort of thing.
Life was pain. I needed a date. And I was weird and awkward and it wasn't, I mean, I had a lot of girlfriends, but it never worked out. It was mostly because I'm kind of a shitty person back then. But I digress from story time about White.
No, no, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's another podcast for another day where we're all sitting around drinking scotch and going, yeah. But, I understand that there's probably a lot of this. It's just people seeing memes with Waluigi on them and going, yeah, Waluigi, that's funny. And liking him because of that, and not just because he's a great character. I feel like somehow my enjoyment of him is cheapened, not because it's not special to enjoy him, but now I can't confirm, and this is where the dual blade, the double-edged sword comes in, I cannot confirm that I appreciate Waluigi for his characteristics unless I very carefully avoid approaching it, well, I liked Waluigi a long time ago on his own merits. I mean, like, that's a fucking landmine field to go through.
Yeah, because the instant response that you would get from me and pretty much anyone else ever is,
he's hipster trash.
You liked him before it was cool, huh?
But, that happens in other ways, too. What's something that's, like, spiked in popularity recently?
I don't know, I don't keep up with what's popular.
I don't really either.
I sound like such a either really lazy asshole or hipster douchebag when I say that, but it's just true.
Really lazy asshole.
Yeah, that's me.
You just putter around the things that you like some sort of tiny moon that changes planetary orbit every 7 years or so.
I don't care about the stuff I don't like, and I don't care about it so hard that I even begin to attempt to look into what is going on with it. I don't care about soccer. That's a thing that's happening right now. Soccer is a thing that's happening.
It's actually over.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
See,
Germany won.
Oh, good for them. They deserve to win after completely destroying someone's
Brazil? Yeah, oh my god. And then Argentina, it was a pretty good match as I understand it. But.
And that's how bad that was, by the way. I don't even know about the Argentina. That's how bad that was. That was so bad, that penetrated my little insular bubble. Because, oh my god.
Congrats to Germany.
Good job, Germany. Roll some blitzkrieg on the other soccer teams. Woo woo, Germany.
I'm glad it wasn't someone from Central America. Like, the day when someone who's not Asian wins LCS, it'll be time to really celebrate. It's not gonna be America. It's gonna be like from Norway or something.
Way too lazy. Like, I want like an African team to win Worlds.
Oh, that'd be tight.
Yeah, like the Ghana team or something. That's where Ghana can really shine. League of Legends.
But, well, America defeats itself. America psychs itself out. Because there's only so many degrees of separation between what an American team does in LCS and what a Korean team does or a Chinese team does. It's just that they're Korea and China. They're better than us at this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to lose now.
And then we do.
And yeah, with that attitude, yes, you're going to lose.
Also, they aren't just better.
Well, so you practice against them. Make an account on the Korean servers. Deal with your lag. Get good. Hey, you're a pro LCS player getting thousands of dollars paid to play League of Legends. Fuck you, get good.
That's fair.
If someone came up to me and was like, I'm going to pay you thousands of dollars to play League. I get really fucking good at League. Fuck you, if someone did that to me and was like, play Dota 2, I'd be like, you got it, man.
Yes, I don't even have to like the game.
I don't even like this fucking game. Whatever, I'm gonna get really good with whoever that is.
I'm gonna give you thousands of dollars to play StarCraft. Okay.
Yeah, sure, okay.
I'm about to get real fucking good at StarCraft.
Let's mine some Vespene gas. Get this shit rolling. Is that a StarCraft thing?
I don't fucking know. KKKKK, that's what I know.
I played it once back when it was just regular StarCraft, and I was also DMing at the time, so...
Wow, I don't know whether to say great job being a terrible StarCraft player or amazing job being an awful DM.
We had been DMing, or we had been role-playing for, at that point, about 20 hours straight.
That's actually really impressive.
Yeah, we wanted to make it 24, and toward the end there, it was just wacky shit, because we completed one campaign, and we're like, fuck it, let's keep going, and started another one.
I like it.
Yeah.
Would you consider role-playing a fandom? It's more of like an activity.
Yeah, I mean, that's like saying, I like football, and then my favorite team is the 49ers. I like role-playing, and my favorite game is, well, I don't get to play games, so.
You get to play. I DM for you all the time. Don't be a douche.
Yeah, but it's my game that I have to create.
Yep. Hey, that's my favorite game. That's the one I want to DM.
Well, I'm glad that you have one. I don't get to have one. I really like Slay Industries. I wish it weren't as obtuse as it is to work in. I love the fluff, though. Fucking role-playing games. Actual role-playing games, not dumbass stories. That's what we could have done this fucking podcast on.
We'll do that one next time.
We are poop. We are poop and shit.
We didn't start thinking about a topic until, I'm gonna go ahead and break this for you, listener. We didn't start thinking about a topic for this until, 2 hours before you got home from work or something?
No, not even. I wish.
Yeah,
I got home from work and sat around for an hour and a half and went, shit, it's Sunday.
We should probably record. Derp-a-derp. Fandom? Yeah, sure, let's do that. We were not, let's say, at our most prepared, but we did fill about an hour. We're a little short. I could go on about Batman some more.
Well, I wanted to finish my point about the whole Waluigi thing. I think that, I think we're a little too harsh on those kind of people. Because much like the guy who says, why do you like wrestling? It's fake. Maybe those hipstery people just don't know how to express. I used to like this, and now a lot of people I don't like this, and now I feel like I have to justify liking it. That sucks.
I wish you guys would just, go away.
Or I wish I could distance myself from you guys without seeming like a twat. But you can't even really do that, because that's the other look I get when someone looks at me. They're like, so you like My Little Pony? Yeah. Does that mean you're a brony? That's a loaded question. Because either I say yes and I own it and I'm a brony, for all what that defines, or I say no and then I'm too much of a pussy to admit I'm a brony.
Yeah, you're right. Because there's a lot of things that I don't really want to get involved in because I don't want to have to associate with these people. I'm like a reverse hipster. It's already not cool to like this, so I'm not gonna. You might have a point there.
I think we as humans limit ourselves too much by this inherent tribalism. And, maybe you and I don't get attack tribalism, but we're pretty strong about, I'm pretty sure that tribe has got the plague. Let's just in case they do, let's stay the fuck away.
We don't have aggressive foreign policy.
No, we don't.
We have an isolationist foreign policy. It's, you're here. Well, we'll just go then.
And that's not healthy. I say experience culture for all it is. love and hate in equal measure about things that you have learned to love and hate. And be proud of what you love and hate.
Yeah, but what if you love shitty stuff? Like, what about people who like the Jersey Shore?
Then people like the Jersey Shore. Like,
Actually, you know
Supernatural's one of the biggest fandoms out there, and I haven't seen a dumber show in a long time.
You know what? Actually, if you like the Jersey Shore, wear that shit on proud, because I really want to know that you like the Jersey Shore, because I don't want to associate with you.
Well, I mean, that's what Sean Baby said about stereotyping some 10 years ago. It exists for a reason, so that you know who you want to hang out with by sight.
Someone comes into me wearing a, like, Snooki Shot First t-shirt. I don't know, I might be interested in you, because I want to know, 1, what that means, 2, where this crossover happened, and 3...
Plus, he's probably got a picture of Snooki on it.
Yeah.
She's got curves in a lot of good places, and she's got a nice face.
That's true. But,
some of the other ladies, not too pretty. But,
I don't like the Jersey Shore, but I think I came up with a really good shirt for, like, people who like Star Wars and Snooki. I don't think that's a large market.
Well, you sold me. I'm interested.
Snooki Shot First.
Remember when she was on WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was better than some of the other female wrestlers in that match.
Yeah, she was. That was sad.
Yeah, that was sad. Dead air, dead air.
Well, you throwing shit. It's that die that you're doing magic tricks with.
That's right.
Listener. I swear to God, I'm a professional. I've made my 26 cents off of YouTube. I've been paid for this. I'm sorry about this Bush League shit. You deserve better.
Listen, alright. Normally we go in a little bit more prepared than this.
I think we had a good talk. I think there are places to go from here, but you and I can both see the timer ticking down, and we've got about 4 minutes to fill, and that's not really enough to get into anything juicy.
That's really what's happening. It's just like, I could go into a bunch of other stuff. I could go into the Batman movie that I hate. It's Batman and Robin, and I have a lot of really good reasons for that. I usually don't even acknowledge that it exists.
I could talk about the differences between Final Fantasy games for hours.
I could talk about the differences between different interpretations of Batman for days.
And have.
I have. He's not a fan of that anymore because I've done it a lot. I could talk about the impact that it has on our society as a whole and how it's one of the big unifying things, and not just in our culture, but in our culture globally. In Earth's culture, everybody knows superheroes. Everybody knows Batman.
It's funny how he says he could do it, and then he just does it.
Well, no, I'm doing it for like 2 minutes. I could go on at length for hours.
You know what I think is interesting, because it's a sports fandom like we were just talking about, much like a role-playing fandom, is wrestling. I like wrestling. I don't really have a horse in the wrestling kit. Fuck you. I don't really have a horse in the wrestling race right now. I'm not a big TNA fan. I like a lot of their roster. And WWE's being fucking stupid right now. And
yeah.
I mean, I really like Chikara. That's about it.
Dropping investors like a hot potato.
Oh, man, that's... Whew.
Vince, if you are listening, if you are in Ultimo Dragon's house right now, having a brewski, and you are listening...
that would never happen. Ultimo Dragon was not allowed to use the Dragon Sleeper because Undertaker's dick has been around longer.
Yes.
No.
You don't know, they might be friends in their private life. Sometimes people just don't discuss business.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Vince also has this habit of throwing money at people who don't like him until they like him again.
Yeah, he's got a real problem with not being liked.
Like Road Dogg.
Yeah. You didn't like?
Sorry, Vince, I don't like you. I can't hang around you anymore. I'm going to go NWA TNA and juke and jive over there. How about thousands of dollars? No, it's not good enough, Vince. You can't buy me away with money.
How about another zero?
You can't do it. We're going to start a stable. It's going to be called VKM. It's making fun of you. We're going to make fun of your wrestling. And how about another zero? I love you, Vince. I'm training all your wrestlers. It's fine. Let's go. Juke and jiving. Singing Jeff Jarrett songs.
And that's what he does now. But, it's, Vince, if you happen to be listening to this, stay the course, my man. You will be vindicated on the WWE Network. I know that's why you're losing investors to a certain extent. I believe in this.
I do too. I think it's just people hate change, and they don't want to change, because change is scary. But this is a good change. We changed it, and we're happy with it. And the more people put money into this, the better the product is going to be.
So get the WWE Network.
Yeah, I
mean... Really,
mean,
this has all just been one big commercial for the WWE Network.
Like, how many of our podcasts that have nothing to do with fucking WWE be like, by the way...
Get the fucking
Look, buy some fucking Shining Was Auto songs and get the WWE Network, okay?
Like, you'd think we were getting money from the WWE for how often we mention it. One, we're really not. I would take some. But...
Yeah, you want to sponsor me, WWE? That'd be nice.
We should probably stop saying such mean things about you. But...
Look, I will tell you about how to wrestling.
But if you want to, like, please keep the WWE Network. Like, I know you got at least one $10 a month you would have never fucking seen without that network. That's my $10 a month. I would not have bought any of those pay-per-views. And because I have the network, you're getting my money. That's full stop. You wouldn't be getting my money otherwise. And I know there has to be a lot of people who that's true for. This is a complete digression, but motherfuck. On the 1 in a 4 billion chance that Vince McMahon clicks on this video... I need him to know.
Alright, well, I think we learned a lot today.
We did.
We learned about Tumblr and about conventions and fandoms and hipsters and bronies and sidewalk sorcerers.
Oh God, no. And remember, everything is better when nerds talk about it. Yashabi!
Let's get hardcore!